Hi there folks, welcome to another episode. We've got a little project I want to do today, and it's going to be, as you saw in the little sneak peeks there, a little cutting, a little welding, a little fun. Fabrication. It starts with F and ends with fun, okay? Here's what I'm going to do. Let me show you real quick. We're going to sketch it up something on the whiteboard. See if you can figure out what it is. We're going to create a rectangle out of tubing. This is not to scale. We're going to create one rectangle like that. We're going to put a piece of tubing in the middle, and that'll be the top view of that bottom piece. And then we're going to, this is a side view here. And then I want to take and make some tubing pieces. This will be a side view over here, for instance. Another piece of tubing like this. Whoops, I'm not even got the camera on it. Same kind of deal, but then we'll weld a little plate across it like this. And this little gap here will fit here, so we'll end up with something that looks more like this when it's all said and done. This is tubing here, plate, tubing. And this is a dotted line. And this you can't see anymore. So something like that. And what this, and we'll have one of these on each end. It's gonna be a book holder. I saw one of these made out of wood and on a guy's desk at work, and I thought, that's kind of cool. I like that because it's infinitely adjustable. And what was nice about it is the way that this thing here was trapped between the piece of wood here and another piece of, this is solid wood up here with a gap in between that this board fit in between. It allows this thing to adjust in and out, in and out. My biggest headache I've ever had with bookends is when you remove the book, what happens? Things fall over, things get out of whack. And the bookend seems to scoot away and you know, it's just not doing bookend things anymore. So that's what's cool about this, is when you pull a book out, this is still stable. It's trapped here, so it can't fall out of the way. It won't fall in, it won't fall out. It might wiggle a little bit, but it won't go away. And if you get more books, you slide it out. If you have less books, you slide it in. Now, what do you think I'm gonna make it out of? Let me put my dry erase marker away and I'll show you. Well, you guys have seen me use rusty square tubing. I've been repurposing that. I made a shelf here out of rusty square tubing, a shelf here, a shelf there. We also made a drill press stand. And I've got, this is what I got left of my rusty tubing here. Not a whole lot of it left here, but there is enough. As you can see, I've already started cutting miter cuts. I've already got a couple of pieces cut like this, deburred, wire wheeled. I'm gonna see if I can make one out of steel tubing. So without further ado, let's get started on it. We're gonna do some more cutting. I'm gonna get the bandsaw cutting some more because I got a lot of cuts to make. And then I'm going to, while it's still cutting, I'm gonna start gluing it together with my electric glue machine. All right, fun. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed that so far. The final reveal is here. There it is, clear-coated, rust and all. The reason I clear-coated the rust was to protect the patina, let's call it. And let's just say this patina is not your normal patina. It was organically free-range patina that happened in my lean-to for the past 5 years or so. So, you know, here's what we have left of the tubing pile. As you can see, there's a lot of new pieces of tubing there, but the old rusty stuff, I managed to use quite a bit of it already. But this is a fun little project. There again, I didn't get carried away with the welds. As you can see here, I didn't weld seam that shut. I just welded inside and outside. That's all that needed to be done. This I did weld and then sanded off smooth, so these pieces here can slide. These can slide all the way out to the end. They are trapped here. As you can see, it can't tip or anything. It sets up off the table a little bit. And I have my Harley-Davidson manual, my Ford tractor manual, Mercury 6-cylinder manual, and this manual here that to give anybody any clues? We'll just slide this back against the wall here. And that can hold that on that bench now, nice and neat. Keep my manuals out of the way until I need them. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. It's fun to just pop out a few projects like this. I should have had more done in the last week, but my wife came down with influenza A, which she wasn't having a lot of fun with that for the past week. And then I caught a touch of it. I was still able to go to work, and but I've had this little, let's call it a head cold thing. That's pretty much all I've had, where she's been like, brr, down and out. So I've been taking it a little easier this week, coming home after work, taking a nap, relaxing for the evening, not pushing myself and wearing myself thin. So I got to pace myself, especially in this kind of weather and with the kind of things that are floating around in the atmosphere in these days. You never know what you might catch. You want to give your body enough time to heal. So that's what I've done. So there again, nice little book project. Now this is scalable. Let's just say I built a big one here because I got some, this is a big manual. This is actually the full depth of this thing. And then these other manuals here that are here, they're a little smaller. That's why I also put this one bar across the bottom here to catch the smaller books from tipping back and forth. But this thing here won't slide out from under itself. It's as solid as it's going to get, folks. That's all there is to it. Okay, quick update on the old Harley-Davidson. Last video we had on it, we pulled the cylinders off. Obviously, they were absolutely destroyed. Pistons absolutely destroyed. And I've been looking tried to find some new takeoffs. Look on eBay, find some new takeoffs. Well, new takeoffs means they're still new. The ones I saw out there for sale were ridiculously cheap, and or they weren't new takeoffs. So I presume they were scamish, because they had, I don't know, tops of pistons were all carboned out black. There was a lot of marks up and down the piston. They weren't new takeoffs. New takeoffs is when somebody buys a brand new bike, maybe rode it home, and decided to big bore kit it before they broke it all the way in. Or they broke it in and then wanted to put a big bore kit on it. So they have, you know, less than 1,000 miles on the cylinders and pistons, which I wouldn't have any problem putting that on this bike. Other discoveries, and I'll cover this more when I get to putting this thing back together, is that I talked to a guy that works on bikes locally here, and I described to him what happened, and he goes, well, your best bet there, to be honest with you, he goes, are you looking to go big bore or do anything weird with it? I'm like, no. I said, I just want to put it back to stock. And he goes, well, your best bet, and he works on nothing but Harleys, and he says, the best thing you can do, honestly, he says, I don't know of any machine shops around here that do this type of work, or bore cylinders, because you got to have a bore plate and a whole 9 yards, and be actually set up for doing these things. And he said, best bet is you go to Harley-Davidson, and ask them for a cylinder kit. And they actually have a part number called a cylinder kit, which has a cylinder, piston, rings, and a wrist pin. And I apologize for the howling windmill in the background. It's a little breezy today. But I went to Harley Davidson, and he was telling me, this has been about 2 weeks ago now, he said, the parts guy said, well, they're currently on back order till May. And he says, and I honestly don't know if they're going to make more or have more, but they're just saying they're back ordered till May. And I have a feeling, since this bike, I've got to get in my brain now, this is 2025, this is an 05, this bike is 20 years old. Going to the Harley Davidson dealer and buying brand new parts for it, you know, other than some gasket kits and stuff, which they share a lot, but buying engine components and stuff isn't as available as it would have been 10 years ago even. So I think one of my options are, I'm going to reach out to this other place I found. They will do a big bore on it, on your existing stuff for a reasonable price. They'll supply the pistons, rings, and wrist pin and big bore to fit that their piston that they have that'll bolt right back onto here. So then all I got to do is get a gasket kit and some new studs for it. So anyway, I thought I'd give you guys an update on that. If you guys have any other suggestions, throw them down below. And if you threw suggestions on the Harley down below, I know you watched a lot of the video, and I do appreciate that very much. In conclusion, I got a few more projects to get done in the shop before I move on to the old Flathead 6 here. And one of those is my old 1972 glass bar that I accidentally let the tarp blow off of, and it got ice and water and everything in here. It is now thoroughly dried out, and I've got to vacuum it out, and I'm going to have to clean the carpet one more time before the season starts. But I want to get my batteries in, my 24 volts worth of batteries in, two 12-volt lithiums or lipos, and get the chargers already mounted. The good news is, through all the freeze and thaw, my board that I glued up in here, which you can watch on my other channel, is staying in place. It has not fallen down. The Sikaflex adhesive sealant is still doing some excellent adhesive stuff because it was outside in sub-zero weather, which will shrink plastic, rubber, and anything else of that nature a great deal and cause it to let go. But so far, the glue is holding tight. Time will tell how long it will hold. Alrighty. Well, folks, be good to one another out there. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you already haven't. I do appreciate all your patronage of watching and getting the thumbs up on my videos. Much, much appreciated. And until the next project, we'll see you hopefully next weekend, if I'm lucky. So everybody be good to one another. This is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And I'm out. And I think I'm going to go lay down and rest a little bit because I still got things whooping up on me.